The Great Aliyah Document Hunt, a comedy of bureaucratic proportions. Congratulations. You've successfully made contact with the Jewish agency, a feat worthy of celebration in itself, survived the initial interrogation, friendly chat, and now you're ready for the next thrilling installment of your Aliyah adventure, the documents. Cue dramatic music. Now, when the lovely person at the Jewish agency says you need to gather just a few documents, what they actually mean is that you're about to embark on an archaeological expedition that would make Indiana Jones weep. You'll be digging through family archives with the determination of someone searching for the Holy Grail, except instead of eternal life, you're searching for a piece of paper that proves your great-grandmother was definitely Jewish and not just someone who made really good challah. Think of this as the ultimate scavenger hunt, except the clues are scattered across 3 generations of family members who all have different filing systems, ranging from shoebox under the bed to I'm sure I put it somewhere safe. And the prize is your Israeli citizenship. Here's what the Jewish agency will cheerfully request from you, presented with the casual air of someone asking you to pop to the shops for milk. Just bring your birth certificate, they'll say. Simple, right? Wrong. First, you'll realize you have no idea where your birth certificate is. You'll start with the logical places. That important documents folder you definitely organized at some point. It's not there. Then you'll progress to the semi-logical places. Kitchen drawers, that box of stuff from your last house move, and eventually you'll find yourself searching through old Christmas card boxes because maybe, just maybe, past you thought that was a sensible place to store vital legal documents. When you finally locate it, probably stuck between a takeaway menu from 2019 and your old school reports, you'll discover it's the short-form version, but they need the long-form version. Because apparently, there are different levels of being born, like some sort of bureaucratic video game. Then comes the real adventure, your Jewish parent or grandparent's birth certificate. This is where things get interesting. You need to prove that your mum, dad, Bubby, Zaid was Jewish, which means you need their birth certificate. This document is approximately as old as the Dead Sea Scrolls and about as easy to find. You'll start by asking your parents, who will look at you with the blank expression of someone who's just been asked to explain quantum physics in ancient Aramaic. Birth certificate? From 1952? Oh, darling, I think it might be in the loft. Or maybe your father put it in that filing cabinet. Or didn't we throw that out when we moved? Ask your Auntie Susan. She's got a good memory. Auntie Susan will then send you on a wild goose chase involving 3 different relatives, 2 house moves, and a mysterious, important papers bag that everyone remembers but no one can locate. If you're married, you'll need your marriage certificate, which seems straightforward until you realize that your wedding was the most magical day of your life, which apparently included magically making all important documents disappear. You'll have a beautiful album full of photos of you looking radiant. But the actual legal proof that you're married, that's anybody's guess. You'll text your spouse, "Do you know where our marriage certificate is?" They'll respond, "I thought you had it." You'll respond, "I thought you had it." And thus begins a domestic investigation that will test your marriage more than the actual wedding vows did. Now we get to the pièce de résistance, proving your Jewish credentials. The Jewish agency wants to see ketubah, synagogue records, Hebrew school certificates, or basically any piece of paper that confirms you're not just someone who really likes bagels. This is when you'll discover that your family's religious documentation practices make their general record-keeping look positively professional. Oh, the ketubah? I think it's framed somewhere, or maybe it's in Hebrew and we couldn't read it, so we put it somewhere safe. Check the back of that drawer where we keep the good china we never use. You'll become a detective, calling synagogues from your childhood, trying to track down Hebrew school records from institutions that may or may not still exist. You'll have conversations like, "Hello, do you have records for little Susie Goldstein from 1987? Which Susie Goldstein? We had 14 that year. The one with the curly hair who always forgot her siddur." You'll have to be more specific. Then there are the passport photos, the bane of human existence. You need passport photos, which sounds simple until you remember that passport photo booths are apparently designed by people who hate the human face. The booth will be either too high, too low, or positioned at exactly the wrong angle to make you look like you're wanted by international law enforcement. The instructions will be incomprehensible. Look straight ahead, but not too straight. Smile, but not too much. Keep your mouth closed, but look pleasant. Remove your glasses, but make sure we can see your eyes clearly. And whatever you do, don't blink during the 0.3 seconds we're actually taking the photo. You'll spend £20 and emerge with 4 identical photos that make you look like you're either planning something sinister or experiencing severe digestive issues. These photos will then follow you through your entire Aliyah process. A permanent reminder of that one terrible Tuesday when you thought, "I'll just quickly get some passport photos done." The medical documentation requirements read like, they want to know more about your body than your own mother does. They'll want to know about every medical condition you've ever had, every medication you've ever taken, and probably your feelings about the healthcare system in general. You'll need to contact your GP, who will look at the forms with the expression of someone who's just been handed hieroglyphics and asked to translate them while blindfolded. You need us to fill out how many pages? And you need us to detail what exactly? Do you want me to include that time you came in convinced you had appendicitis, but it was just gas? The forms will ask for information that you're pretty sure doesn't exist, like the exact date you had chickenpox. Was it 1987 or 1988? Does it matter? Apparently it does. And whether you've ever had any psychological evaluations? Does Googling, "Am I having a panic attack?" at 3 a.m. count? This document hunt will inevitably lead to what I call the Great Family Expedition, where you'll visit elderly relatives armed with a checklist and the determination of someone on a holy mission. You'll find yourself having conversations like, "Bubby, do you remember Great Uncle Morris's Hebrew name?" Morris? Which Morris? Morris the baker or Morris with the funny ear? The one who came from Poland. They all came from Poland, Bubbler. Be more specific. You'll spend entire afternoons going through photo albums trying to identify people in sepia-toned wedding photos, hoping someone, somewhere, kept better records than your immediate family. Half of your documents will be in languages you don't speak, leading to the delightful discovery that you need official translations. This means finding certified translators who can turn your great-grandfather's Yiddish birth certificate into something the Israeli government will accept. The translator will charge you approximately the same amount as a small car payment and will deliver the translation with the solemnity of someone handing over state secrets. You'll stare at the translated document, realizing that your great-grandfather's name was spelled 17 different ways across various documents, and pray that this doesn't disqualify you from citizenship. After weeks of searching, dozens of phone calls, several minor family arguments, and at least one existential crisis in a passport photo booth, you'll finally assemble your document collection. You'll spread them out on your kitchen table like you're planning a military operation, double-checking that everything is there, properly translated, and in the correct order. You'll photocopy everything twice, because you're not an amateur, organize it all in a folder with dividers, because you're now a professional, document hunter, and prepare to submit your application with the pride of someone who has just completed an Ironman triathlon. And then, just as you're about to send everything off, the Jewish agency will call and casually mention that they need just one more little document they forgot to mention earlier. Deep breath. Welcome to Aliyah, where the paperwork is half the adventure and your family's filing system is the real test of your commitment to making Israel your home.